to get some of this information.
Yeah,
Because a lot of this stuff I didn't know.
Man seemed to be dialed in on a lot of it more so. Man, he seems to know a lot what's going on with that Under Armour thing more so than I do.
Because, hey, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I predicted the shit.
Yeah.
If you go back to a couple of our shows a couple of months ago, I told everybody like, "Yo, Under Armour is expanding too much." I see it in Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, they have more of a loyal following, more so in Baltimore, especially amongst the younger generation. Not with the tennis shoes, but like with their apparel and stuff like that. You see a lot of people in Baltimore wearing the Under Armour.
Kevin Blank, he a Maryland Turpin, alumni, University of Maryland College Park alumnus. So a lot of his stuff is, concentrated here in the area. So there's a lot of places here that you can go get that stuff. And it's quality stuff, man. I remember wearing some of their shirts like under my uniform at work, man. That stuff keep you warm and stuff. So I like their apparel.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that, like I said, it's when they sign these contracts, man. I mean, Steph Curry, yes, he's been the face of the NBA for a long time. Let's not get that. And it was a good thing, but his clothing line just wasn't selling. And to give him what I call the Michael Jordan deal, you got to bring something you got to be able to sell it.
Right. Now, and on top of that, like their shoes are not aesthetically pleasing. They're not good to look at.
Right.
No.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's the thing. They're not good. Like you say with Allen Iverson with Reebok. Allen Iverson shoes, they were nice shoes. You know what I'm saying? They were stylish. They had decent colors and stuff like that. These stuff. I mean, even I seen some that I like more than others, but I still wouldn't buy them. Yeah, I still wouldn't buy them.
Yeah. So, that's the thing with me though.
Yeah.
But we gotta admit though, some of these tennis shoes are downright ugly and still be selling like crazy just because who's endorsing. Because all brands of Jordans aren't sexy. There's some Jordans out there that's ugly.
Like 4 pair that does look nice. The rest of them, the rest of them trash looking. There's only like 4 pair, that look nice that you can throw different colors with, stuff like that. But
and then hold on. There's only one pair of Jordans that I would actually play ball in. I wouldn't play ball in any of the rest of them.
I gotta agree with you. I have a few pair of Jordans too, and I play ball in them, and they not really comfortable like for hooping. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I had a pair of them Allen Iversons. The questions I had a pair. Well, I had more than a pair. I had a few pair of them. They was uncomfortable, man. You almost had to go like a whole size up. Go like a whole size up, man, for them to be comfortable. And I wasn't hooping in them. I'm walking around in them, and they wasn't that comfortable. So I learned at the buying a couple pair, man. You got to go because the toe box is like a triangle. Yeah. The toe box is like a triangle, man. So you really had to go. Like me, I had to go a full size up. Just so they'd be comfortable to wear.
But see, I don't know if that's a motto for these shoe companies because look at the big baller brands. Look when he brought out his tennis shoes and they were supposed to be basketball shoes and they got tore up on the court. They was actually splitting apart in the games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're making them just for fashion and calling them basketball sneakers, or they really intending on them playing.
You hit it. That's what it is. It's more so for fashion than for function. You know what I'm saying? It's more so for fashion, right?
That's why those Chuck Taylors, man. I hooped in Chuck Taylors. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Them Chuck Taylors, man.
Hey, like I said, I found out that Chuck Taylors has the most sneakers sold in the world at 1 billion plus.
Man, that's all right.
I don't even know. I never even seen a picture of this cat, Jack. Who is Chuck Taylor?
He was a guy that worked at a little bit that I learned on. He was a guy that worked at a shoe store, right?
Yeah.
And he was promoting that Converse shoe. And he was selling them so much. And people was associating his name with the shoe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was associated. He wasn't a ball player enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See, that shows you how much I know because I thought he was a ball player.
Now, listen. Fact check me, though. Fact check me. I don't want to put nothing crazy out into the universe, right?
Hey,
it's supposed to be somebody who promoted the shoe, was selling the shoe, and And then Converse was like, man, he's selling all these shoes, and they put his name on them. Now it could be 100%. All this could be 100% lie, right? but that's a little bit of information I was able to do it. But definitely look into it and find out, man. Because like I say, I don't want to put no lies out in the universe. And people in the chat say, "Tunk a lie, motherfucker." They don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, fact check me to find out. Yeah.
So look, that's why I just think
okay.
that.
Hold on. I got a fact check.
Go ahead.
Actually, Chuck Taylor is a basketball player that was playing basketball in 1922.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was he wasn't they didn't say professional, but he was a basketball player playing in 1922.
Okay.
That was the first person that Converse decided to make a shoe for. And actually it said when they start selling his shoe, he was already passed away.
Wow. Oh, okay. Oh, and you said it was 1920, over 100 years ago.
1922 is when he was playing basketball.
So he got the first Converse contract.
Yeah. He got the first one. And hold up. And he was dead when he got it.
Yeah. That's why I believe that's why Chuck Taylor is the most sold, because they've been around the longest.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, the irony is back in the 80s, I wore Chuck Taylor's not to play basketball, but for the style.
Yeah.
It was definitely the beginning of sneaker culture. And then obviously the Air Ones took off.
Because you got to remember in the 60s and 70s, tennis shoes sneakers were usually worn for sports.
Yep.
Everybody else, the fashion statement was shoes. That's where the Gators came out and all those other shoes. Yeah. Them 70s, them 60s, them 70s, man. If you ain't have no Gators, you wasn't as stylish right there. You had to have them Gators now.
Gators will never go out of style, son. Never.
Oh yeah.
Never.
Hey, but hold on. You gotta be a different breed of gentleman to wear them Gators, though, boy.
Oh, I got a pair of hornbacks. I got a pair of hornbacks in the closet right now. And I bring out.
You got to be that different breed to wear them Gators, boy. You know,
yes, sir.
Hey man, you go in Detroit, they walk around in sweatsuits with Gators on.
With Gators on, yeah. I don't do that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Sweatsuits and Gators. And hey, that's a South thing too. I done seen them do that down south. Sweatsuits and Gators. Yep.
I'm surprised Under Armour is struggling, because forget about basketball and stuff, man. They got the fitness world on lock. Yeah. When you go in the gym and stuff like that, that's all you see is Under Armour, even fitness tennis shoes and stuff. So that's a little surprising to me.
But look at the shoes that they're producing. They are not focusing on style and colors and those things that going back to sneaker culture, Nike's got it figured out. The base is functionality sports wise, but they have freaking cool looking shoes.
Right. Yeah. And you gotta also remember with Under Armour too, they overexpanded themselves. You know what I'm saying? With all these multiple deal contracts they got with all these schools and everything like that, to sustain all that, you gotta have a revenue coming in. The revenue is in the tennis shoes. Okay. Where it takes and I looked this up because, like I said, as an officer, we eat a lot of donuts and drink coffee, so we can sit back and look up information. They use a tennis shoe. It costs Nike about $20 to $25 to make a tennis shoe, and they sell them. The average Nike is $100, and everybody's buying them. So that's where your real money is. Where in apparel itself, it may take you $5 to $6 to make a shirt, but then you're only making like maybe $30, $35 off the shirt itself once you make it.
Now, let me jump ahead, man. Let me jump ahead.
Go ahead.
The shoe thing sells a lot for us. You know what I'm saying? Our generation and stuff, but the apparel, you got soccer moms wearing Under Armour sweatshirts and Under Armour headbands, and soccer moms, Under Armour and Under Armour tapped into the shoe game little late in the game, as far as basketball shoes and stuff like that, a little late. But they always made football cleats, turf shoes for baseball, batting gloves, catcher's mitt. I mean, as far as that part of it, that's where they was making a lot of their money. I mean, just sports apparel, shoulder pads, football pants, football jerseys. That's where they went. They got into the sneaker game a little late in the game, and I think that's probably why they're struggling in that part of it. I don't think for them. I don't think that's their bread and butter. It might be, obviously for Nike and things. Right. That's how Nike started as a shoe company, but Under Armour didn't start as a shoe company. Go ahead.
No, it makes a point what man makes. They overextended themselves. You got to stay within your niche and start reinvent that niche all the time, as opposed to trying to create a new niche. They got fitness, they have football, they got all that stuff. Keep your budget low, focus on where you're making your bread and butter, and keep evolving that. But it's like man said, they overextended themselves.
Right. And you also got to remember, too, when Under Armour, with all their apparel and stuff, remember, they had a niche in the market where nobody was doing that stuff.
That's right.
And now you have every company, Nike's, Adidas, everybody's making that apparel now. And Under Armour didn't evolve the clothing line. You know what I'm saying? They went and focused on other things. When you got other companies doing the same thing you do, then you got to be able to evolve to something new. To get to have a niche over those other companies again.
Under Armour had an opportunity to monopolize that lane that they was in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so then they tried to go technical with they tried to become a tech company that thinned them out. Then they tried to go into shoes that thinned them out when they had already hit the mother load with their first right.
And let's not forget about the expansion they did, as well as promising all these colleges and pro sports contracts.
Well, they could have run with that if they had kept it to football, like, because they was competing with Rollins. Who else make helmets and football? Adidas. They had overtook Adidas at one time.
Right.
Under Armour had overtook Adidas. So,
and let's not forget who jumped into that game. The Jordan brand jumped into that game of making jerseys and uniforms for basketball and football.
They did.
So Jordan makes jerseys and stuff now.
Yeah, Jordan brand got that. Yeah.
One of the first colleges that got it was Cincinnati. Cincinnati was one of the first colleges that get it with Bobby Huggins. He used to wear his sweatsuits on Bobby Huggins never wore suit. He always used to wear like a little pullover, and he was one of the first ones to wear that Jordan brand. And I'm talking about going back to Nick Van and them. I'm talking about going back then.
Yeah, it's hard for them to compete in the market now because they didn't evolve.
But
they kept everything the same.
This is another thing Kevin Plank followed, what's the name of Nike, Phil Knight. And remember, Phil Knight, he an Oregon alumni. And Oregon, if y'all keep up with their football program, man, Oregon don't wear the same jersey twice all season.
Nope. Right.
They don't wear the same jersey twice. Maryland, if you paid attention to Maryland, if you paid attention to them, they started doing the same thing, but coming in with different helmets, different jerseys. Every game, he started doing that as well with Maryland. So that was another page he took out of Phil Knight's book.
But have you noticed that they stopped doing that?
Yeah, Maryland losing.
Right, they stopped doing it. I know they don't change their uniforms up like they used to.
Yeah.
They used to change their helmets, the jerseys. They used to say they had the same game plan as Oregon had. Yep. Every week you come out with something different to shock everybody else.
Do Oregon,
they haven't done that this year.
Oregon still do that?
Yeah, they do. Man, Oregon come up with all kinds of crazy stuff.
I gotta give it to Oregon though. Those uniforms they come out, they was nice uniforms.
Yeah, it was nice, man. They was loud. You know what I'm saying? They caught your attention. But he done built up. Phil Knight done built up their whole athletic department up there in Oregon. Man. He built up their whole.
But when it comes to Steph Curry, like I said, when we start talking about Steph himself, their deal that they had with Steph was ridiculous. You don't give Steph Curry the Jordan deal until he proves himself, and that's what screwed him. Steph Curry has his own brand, and to be honest, I don't think Steph Curry, his brand itself is really that high to eloquate what that needs to be.
I
But
don't mind him
anyway,
taking a chance on him. I mean, I don't mind him taking a chance on him. He's been with him for a while. You know, he's been a winner.
right. But you know, he just signed that deal because under.
Yeah.
So they lose stuff in that. So Under Armour ain't really
They did. Let me tell you what they did lose. They lost the respect of the industry because we're talking about them now. That's what they lost, which is more essential than anything when you're in that market of selling apparel and clothing and everything. When we're talking about they you look at Under Armour differently. Like, are they going to be there? You know, what's going on? Why is this and why is that going on? Now we're digging deeper into Under Armour's financials and digging deeper into their signings and asking why and everything. So it may hurt them in the long run. I don't know. But it may hurt them in the long run.
If you look at Reebok, Adidas, Converse, like everybody except like Pumas has gone away for a little bit, or Puma might focus now because Pumas basically now for soccer. A lot of kids that play soccer wear Pumas. You know what I mean? And then Adidas is, you know, Nike is just an exception to the rule. You know, when it comes to just like maintaining or continuously growing.
Well, yeah, you're right. And because just like you said, you know, it's peaks and valleys. Reebok about 4 years ago had their peaks and valleys. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but when Shaq took over VP of Reebok, you know the first move he made was put Reebok in Walmart's?
You know what? Now that you bring that up, that's another thing that I read that hurt. That also hurt their stuff in certain stores. Like if you have your stuff in Walmart, or if you have it like in Target, it diminishes your brand. You know what I mean? So like certain brands you won't see in Target, or if you see a Nike or a Puma in Target, it's like one of their off-brand shoes or a shoe that don't sell that well. But yeah, that hurt Under Armour's brand also because they allow certain stores to carry them and it diminished their brand.
Right. So and it's all about getting market shares. That's why Reebok did it. They went into the biggest retailer in the world to get their product out there. And it's working for Reebok because, you know, Reebok isn't on that high level. So you can go into Walmart expecting to see Reebok. I don't go into Walmart expecting Under Armour.
Reebok, in my opinion, have like a sort of like a nostalgic. But like when it comes to us, because we like Reebok because of Allen, that was a big hit, so that's nostalgic. I don't know if Reebok, and I'm you know, I might be wrong, but I don't know if they relating right now to the younger generation. They bringing on kids like Angel Reese, she's with Reebok, you know, but I don't know if Reebok is really like how they doing as far as rebranding.
They're going after the cheap. They're going after the low cost effectiveness of what the product is. We can sell you if we make a hoodie for $5, and we sell it for. That's what they're going after. They're going after the market like you wouldn't believe. But Shaquille O'Neal tennis shoes was one of the highest grossing tennis shoe sales of the last 4 years. And he only sells them in Walmart.
Yeah.
Well,
and he sells like $30, $35. Huh?
I was watching a documentary. I was watching the series on Netflix, actually aiming to get back and compete against Nike again. They're going after they got some young NBA stars. They're trying to grab the stars at the college level now and bring them on. So they're going after, they're trying to go back after the marketplace. They're not necessarily trying to go low end.
Yeah,
per se. Shaq and them trying to put them back in.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
Let me ask you a question.
But I don't know. But
I love the pumps.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that earlier. The pumps was really what really got everybody, you know, locked in on. And in the urban areas, right? Part of fashion was those Reebok gum soles and stuff. So Reebok played fashion as well. So when Allen Iverson, when the pump came along, Shaq came along, Allen Iverson came along, to me they were building on something they already had, a foundation. You know, and then they appeal to the urban audience anyway, and then that just blew up worldwide. But
right. Let me ask you a question. Let's see if I know y'all style. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You got it, baby. You got it. I like that.
Dunk contest. Went down and pumped the shoes up, baby.
Yeah. I remember that. I was a kid. I remember that.
And that was beautiful marketing for Reebok. That was classic. And I don't think that was scripted. I think that was just beautiful. Yeah. See, and that's some of the thing with Steph Curry. As great as he is, right? And as electrifying he is to watch, it's certain things about him. Like you gotta have some level of charisma as well to make the general public, you know, want to buy into everything you're doing. So I'm not saying Steph's not Curry, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like he's not as captain.
Yeah.
Like what Allen Iverson did. Like he went with Reebok. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I said that Under Armour was hoping that Steph would have the same type of effect that Allen Iverson did, and then so you hitch your horse to that way.
Also,
that it worked out.
I'll put some focus on Under Armour too. You gotta have great marketing, like so. Even if your star is not as charismatic, you gotta be able to have like a team of people, writers, stuff like that, script things to bring out some charisma as well as sell that shoe. You know, so.
Yeah, you got a good point there because I think they tried to handle Steph Curry the same way they handled The Rock. You know what I'm saying? You know, The Rock, you know, his Project Rock and all that stuff that's on Under Armour. You know, The Rock is all the man. His whole thing is social media. I'm gonna put myself out there. So, like you said, Clayton, you got to script stuff for Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to make Steph Curry like, look, I need you to do this to promote this shoe. We need to get it out there. We need to get the younger audience, you know, to understand and like it and buy it because we need to get that kid to beg their mom and dad to buy your shoe. That's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The first thing Nike did with Jordan, the first commercial was him taking off like a plane. Like, you know what I mean? It was like him taking off in the smoke. You got to lean into what Steph is. You got to create some kind of marketing around what he is.
And even go deeper than that, Clayton. When they decided to call him Air, that one little word right there changed the whole perspective of what Jordan could be, would be, and it is forever. They decided to call him Air Jordan because remember, if you look at this thing, the documentary, they were just like, all right, Jordan is playing. Like, what are we going to do with Jordan? We can call him Jordan, but what can we do with it? And they just added a little word Air there, and it changed everything. And you know, it made it pop. The Curry brand is, you know, Steph Curry. That's what it is, Steph Curry. We know who he is, but what is his brand? What is significant about his brand? And that's where I think Under Armour fell off on.
State Farm leaning into Caitlyn brand. If I could do everything from the logo, life would be so easy. Steph should have had something like that. Like, you know what I mean? How far he shoot, you gotta lean into what he do, you know?
See, that's clever too. You know what I mean? They got her standing on a little sign on a State Farm emblem and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's clever.
Yeah,
clever marketing, man. You got to market. I don't think Under Armour marketed Steph Curry well.
Do y'all see Steph Curry commercials?
Yeah, I seen it too.
Yeah, I couldn't quote to you.
I'm talking about the Under Armour commercial.
No, I don't see many of them, Tom.
Yeah, I'm talking about what's the name, you know. You know what I'm saying? No Under Armour commercials.
Don't see many of them at all.
So all right, so let's talk about this. Let me see something. Let's talk about the post that Clayton showed us last week.
Well, Mike, real quick, I grabbed that, but we got to give First Take some credit because when they was talking about AJ Brown, his recent complaints, Stephen A. and his research team pulled up this post after the Super Bowl, so I went online and grabbed it.
Right.
I just want to give them their credit for this. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So, but this just brings me to a question, right? Like, as far as like when it comes to, we always think about, put the team first. Like, players should put the team first, but then sometimes I think it works both ways, because if you want the best out of a player, then there has to be like a middle ground. And I ain't really never think of that until I read this right here of what AJ Johnson said. I'm sorry, AJ Brown said about, him not being happy even after winning the Super Bowl because of his competitive nature. He wanted to be able to compete, and so, that what are y'all thoughts on that?
I mean, I think just about every elite athlete kind of has that mentality. AJ Brown's always kind of been the guy that is not shy about sharing his desire to dominate and to win. I think where it's really started to become an issue in the media is his recent comments about not being productive, him being unsatisfied with the production of the offense, and it's starting to be media talking points, right? And that's the last thing you want if you're trying to compete and you're trying to stay on top, is to have the perception of dissent in the locker room. And that's the way it's starting to sound from AJ, is he's unhappy. He said, I'm not as productive. And, he was on some stream, live stream, and I forgot the guy he was on the stream with, but, basically asked him, hey, how are things going? So yeah, family's good. But I think his exact quote for the team was, it's a shit show. And that really set off a lot of red flags of, okay, what's going on with the Eagles? And Saquon had to come out and say, hey, look, we're all good. He's just frustrated and those kinds of things. But I mean, AJ's never been shy about letting his feelings known. And this, we kind of that was what we started to talk about. It seems like elite wide receivers are the divas of the NFL. Elite running backs and elite quarterbacks tend not to be the divas that the wide receivers are.
Well, let me ask y'all this, right? As an offensive coordinator, how much responsibility should an offensive coordinator take when it comes to, because this is not a bad problem to have. Like, if you're an offensive coordinator and you got a receiver like AJ Brown, right, and he calling for the ball, that's not, you know what I mean? And y'all on a winning team, that's not a bad problem to have. This success, y'all success is tied together, really. So how much responsibility do the offensive coordinator take as far as like getting this guy involved in the offense?
Well, I think the offensive coordinator calls the game according to the opponent, right? Mm-hmm. And every play has options. You go through your progressions. So once the play is called, to me, it becomes the quarterback, what he's seeing out there, and going through his progressions, So I don't think like I guess there are some plays that's designated for one individual. But when you talk about the passing game, that's wide open. It's wide open. Like, you might have the first option, but that's pretty much wide open. So I think the coordinators call the game, according to what's there.
Some end arounds, some screens and some end arounds.
Yeah, but I mean, AJ Brown is not that. He's not that, right?
He's not dynamic enough to run an end around.
I mean, I'm just saying he's not that. He's more so what he is. So you don't want to start trying to take and minimizing him, not letting him play to his strength, trying to get him the ball,
They beat, I think last week, who they beat? Tampa Bay, and they only threw the ball to him 3 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, that's just like that's like being in a marriage and not listening to your partner. If your partner say, even though if you don't see a reason for them to be unhappy, like, look, we have everything we need. We got a roof over our head. I got a good job I'm providing, and you still not happy. You know what I mean? You still have to acknowledge the fact that this person is not happy, and you know, and maybe if you can do something to make the situation better for that person, then you got to look into doing that.
Well, you try, you do, you call more pass plays and things of this nature, but at the same with that in mind, you don't want to force it because now you're playing into the defense's hands. You know, if I'm out there deliberately constantly trying to force feed this guy the ball, then I'm at a disadvantage. You know, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Right. Now, one thing I will say, I don't like how he's being portrayed in the media. I respect his honesty in this situation. I love it. And the reason I love it is because when most people dream about playing on this next level and doing great and winning, they dream about it in terms of them playing well as well, like them playing great. That's where the illumination comes in at, when you're excelling at what you do. How many times have we played in the game, Mike, and Tonk, and everybody that played basketball or football, whatever the sport, and your team won, but you didn't play good. And even though you won the game, you didn't feel good about it because you didn't play well. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that. And I wouldn't call this man a diva because it's not like he's not doing his job. A diva is like what Antonio Brown did. After a while, I'm not getting my way, so I'm quitting on the team. A.J. Brown is still out there taking up the double team. He's still blocking downfield. He's still doing his job. You know, he's just saying it don't feel as great as it could if I was more dominant, if I was able to have more of an impact on the game. I respect that to the fullest.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, let me ask you this, man. Answer this, right? Mm-hmm. You number one wide receiver on your team. You getting double teamed, you getting bracketed and stuff, right? Like this. The receiver on the opposite side of you, because you getting double teamed, he getting better opportunities.
Yes.
So now, all right, if he getting better opportunities, then you have a quarterback, he running up his numbers. Now you have a wide receiver, like this is affecting his status as far as like going into the Hall of Fame.
So let me say this, because a lot when you say you're a number one receiver, a lot comes with that. You got to understand that you will get double teamed as a number one receiver. Right. Okay. The problem is with AJ Brown is the fact that he can't beat a double team. Okay. And it's if the other guy's open, that's who Hurts needs to throw it to. Whoever's open. I don't care if you're a diva. I don't care what the situation is. You throw to whoever's open. Okay. And if you want that I'm number one receiver respect, then you got to understand what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on with AJ Brown now. The same thing that was going on with him before at the other team. You know what I'm saying? That's what comes with the game. If you can't beat a double team and you crying about being number one, then you got to ask yourself, am I really a number one? Prime example is with the Cowboys when they had Irving and Harper. Okay? Harper was getting a lot of the catches. Everybody thought he was a great catcher and all this and all that because Irving was getting the double teams. And he was beating the double teams.
Yeah.
Okay? Jerry Rice and John Taylor. Jerry Rice was getting the double teams, but he was beating the double teams.
Let me say this.
Taylor still looked good.
Yeah, John Taylor, you know, like, all right, so you got Jerry Rice, they still was targeting him. Lynn Swann was getting targeted when you know they had John Stallworth, right? So they were still getting their targets.
Because they were still beating the players. They were still beating their men.
Take this guy, AJ Brown, off of the team. That affects the other side of that other wide receiver. You know what I mean? So if you trade him because he's a diva or a so-called malcontent, that affects the other side of that field.
I see what Clayton's saying, and to an extent I agree. I don't think AJ is a malcontent. I
don't think so either.
Yeah, he's always kind of been real honest, and he's showing his frustration. I think some of that frustration bears out because of the limits of Hurts. Hurts is a really good quarterback who knows how to play within himself, and he doesn't make mistakes. but he's not the guy that's going to go out there and throw it super deep, and he's not going to go out there and the bookie. Man.
Yeah, I want to know what that's all about. I can't wait till y'all talk about that. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that caught my eye too. No, LeBron ain't going to jail.
No.
Yeah, no, I think where it starts to show cracks in the Eagles is he's being himself and he's voicing his frustration that he's not as productive, but that's a byproduct of the defenses catching up to the Eagles. Now the Eagles are still really good at their strengths because they've got a huge offensive line, they got a great defense, and they can run the shit out of the ball with Saquon, right? And so they don't have to beat you downfield with a flyer, right? So that limits the opportunities that Saquon is going to have, especially when he's bracketed, especially when the game plan on the passing game is all we need to do is just not let AJ beat us. And so it's the defenses that are coming in and they're going to say, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it tight enough so that they can't score in bunches.
Yeah. Well, Tom, let me ask you this.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this, Tom. Should they should the Eagles push kind of shove? Should the Eagles let AJ Brown go? Then, don't y'all think later on down the season they're gonna need AJ Brown?
I think so. Right now, I think you can get a bunch for him. I was surprised they didn't move off him, especially if he only getting targeted no more than 4 or 5 times a game. You can force them the ball. I know Clayton say don't force it to him, but you're number one receiver, and you can force some throws. You can script some throws for him early in drives, man, early in the first quarter to get him touched. You know what I mean? Even if it ain't up at a 10-yard out, get him touches so he can stay involved. I disagree with Man. Whereas though he said he don't beat the double teams, I don't think it's that. I just think Jalen Hurts don't throw into double coverage.
And he's not supposed to.
I think it's more so that than anything. That, he just don't throw into double coverage. And, people may disagree on that. I mean, I'm not going to let, a receiver like that get taken out of the game because you double team him. I'm throwing it to him. You know what I'm saying? Justin Jefferson up in Minnesota, he gets doubled all the time. He still gets the ball. You know what I'm saying? They still throw him the ball. Number one receivers are going to get double teamed. So if that's the case, every number one receiver wouldn't get any targets.
No, but see, Tom, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that just because he's double teamed that they're not giving him the ball. I'm saying you have to beat the double team. Okay, when you're talking about Justin Jefferson and a lot of number ones, they're beating these double teams. They're beating teams because a lot of teams are playing zone. When you go against the Eagles, you can play man because most of the time you do, because look how they shut down Saquon right now. Saquon is not the same Saquon of last year. And that's because teams are scheduling their defenses right towards him. And we know Hurts is not throwing like Jay said, he's not going to throw that 50-yard pass. So if we blitz him, Greg put 7 and 8 in the box, and he can't read the blitz in time. You know what I'm saying? That gives him less time to make that decision.
So that's not AJ. Hold up, wait a minute. That's not AJ Brown's fault. But
it's a team thing. It's a team thing.
Hold up, man. If everything you just said is true, that's not AJ Brown's fault. Now he came to the Eagles as a number one receiver from Tennessee. He didn't just get that overnight. I think he earned that title. I think he earned that title as a number one receiver. Right. The way Philadelphia offense is designed is to not force the ball, throw to the open man. If that's how your offense is, cool, no problem. But this is the results of that.
Let me ask you a question. How many times you just seen AJ Brown do a slant on a blitz?
I don't see a lot of games, so I
Yeah,
couldn't.
watch him.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't. He just does a lot of the basic routes. And sometimes, like I said, J Mac said it. Hurts is not that quarterback. Now, if he had Tom Brady, that a pinpoint accuracy 20 yards downfield, that's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
But you got to understand who you playing with and playing against. The Eagles are short yardage, long run game. They're catch and run is off the hook. Okay. But the teams are now adequating to the Philadelphia way they play.
Go ahead, Clay.
Does that.
Go ahead, Clay.
Well, I want to say, right, Tunk makes some great points, man makes some great points, right? But I want to speak to one thing about, like what Tunk said, I wouldn't let it receive.
Say they good.
Huh?
I didn't say they good.
Say that again.
You said Tunk made some good points and E-Man made some
No,
good points.
no,
I didn't say they good.
No, Jim, I'm talking about this particular thing, bro. No, you didn't say anything. About Tunk, you said I wouldn't let a receiver like that get taken out of the game, right? But this is my thing. First of all, I think they got a different coordinator than they had previous, right? But also they got a great defense, right? So even with him being taken out of the game, you winning games, right? Because you got a great defense. So if I'm Philly and I'm Jalen Hurts, to protect that defense and to not put my defense in bad situations, I gotta kind of play conservative to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Because we have such a sound defense. You know what I'm saying? So even with AJ being taken out of the game, it's opening up other things for the other side, and they're winning football games. Now, if I'm losing football games and he's been taken out of the game, now I got to find a way to get him back into the game as far as catches.
See,
because
I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you said that, because I don't think it should make a difference. Because and my point is, if you allow, if as a defense, if you show that you're going to double team or you're going to bracket him, then you automatically know that Hurts got to go to the other receiver, right? So, in my opinion, that means that you are allowing the defense to dictate how you run your offense, right? Yep. Right. So, if you allow defense to dictate how you run your offense, and then later on in the season, when you need AJ Brown, you need like what he brings to the table. Again, now you're putting your back up against the wall, because all year long you should be keeping the other team, imposing your will on them, keeping them honest by getting the ball to AJ, because you don't want to be in a position where you allow them to dictate. Then you become more predictable.
Well, let me say this.
They dictating, but Philly is winning.
It don't matter. It
does matter, because if you're dictating and I'm losing the game, you're making me turn the ball over. Okay, you doubling him, you know where I'm going, but I'm not turning the ball over. You're not getting turnovers. You're not making me lose. Sometimes you got to play that. You got to understand what's happening out there. You just can't be, I got to get this guy the ball.
Philly is they're playing to get themselves back into the Super Bowl, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So if their goal is to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to need everything in their tool basket in order to get them there.
Yeah, but
they don't have that chemistry and that connection.
They got the chemistry.
They don't have that connection with that. You can't ask this guy.
Right.
If y'all get into the playoffs, then you're gonna say all of a sudden we're gonna turn this relationship back on, this chemistry. It's gonna be too late.
Real quick, before you go, man, before y'all go, real quick, Mike, to your point. The number one thing they need to get back on track to win the Super Bowl again is Saquon Barkley. It's not this passing game.
Well,
last year in the Super Bowl, AJ Brown caught 4 balls, and they blew the Chiefs out.
Well,
I'm just saying that's the main thing.
If they feel like that, then they can move off of him. You know what I mean? If they can move off of AJ,
let me say this.
Why he garnered so much attention, Mike?
Listen. Yeah, I used to be a quarterback, all right, in college.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the one thing that we're missing from this situation. Okay, the relationship between Brown and Hurts. That's the main thing we're missing. Okay. When I was a quarterback, if I had a wide receiver that was taught, and we used to have, let me tell you, we used to have a tight end that swore he was a God-given gift to everything. Okay. He would demand the ball. Hey, I want the ball. I want the ball. And he carried his attitude like that in practice and in the locker room, like, yo, you need to give me the ball to win. Okay. I took offense to that because as a quarterback, I'm like, dude, we need to win giving everybody the ball. I don't want to just keep giving you the ball. And you getting 3 yards, but I got a guy downfield open and you complaining about it. So that relationship dynamics between those two players, I think, is what's really affecting the situation. Because Hurts can go to AJ Brown and double teams. He can do that. The point is he chooses not to do that. Now, is it because he don't think he has the arm strength, or he just saying, like, you know what, I'm not even going to risk me getting an interception for trying to get this dude numbers when I can go over the other side and still get the same numbers?
Fellas,
can the Eagles be successful without AJ Brown? Like, if they move off of him, y'all think they can be successful?
So if you look at, I mean, I don't know why you would do that, because it is a component to your success.
Right.
And if you look at how they've been winning and the formula that they use, to Clayton's point, it starts with Saquon and that big, massive front line.
Yes.
And I think if they want to just keep riding their formula to another Super Bowl and go back to back, they're going to put the pedal to the metal on their strengths. And that's the way they've been winning. And the strengths that they have do include AJ Brown, but in a supporting role, not as the primary key to victory.
Let me ask you this question. When Philly went to the Super Bowl and lost, was AJ Brown on that team?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yes, he was there. He was there. Yep.
So
last year, fam.
And you know who wasn't? Saquon.
Last year, fam, it was problems. AJ on the sideline reading a book. They thought he was, disgruntled then. But what did they do? They won the whole thing. So to me, it's like it's a talking point in the media. But what are we talking about? The Eagles are 7 and what? 2?
7-2.
What are we talking about?
Both could be true, though, Clay. He could be disgruntled and they can be winning.
Yes. Well, it could be.
Yeah. Right, because, as a Dallas fan, I know that very well when we had T.O.
Right.
So I know that you can still win and have a disgruntled wide receiver.
Right. But the key about AJ, even if he's disgruntled, he's still doing his job.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. And Clayton, you got to make a good point, because I think AJ doesn't understand the definition of what his job is now. You know what I'm saying? I just think he don't understand, because he's doing exactly what he should be doing as a number one receiver. He's making that Philly offense look good. His numbers are down, his production is down, but if I'm taking the best defense, the best cornerback, and he's playing me no matter where I go, and he's out the other plays. If I go deep, he's completely out of everything else. It's a win for that offense.
I guess y'all. I guess y'all right.
No, real quick. No receiver that thinks he's elite feel like what you just said, man. Don't know receiver that thinks he's elite saying, "Oh, I'm taking the best D-back out of the play, so it's a win for us." That's not how they think. I can guarantee you a receiver that say, "You put your best defensive back on me, I'm gonna beat him. Throw me the ball." They not.
But the problem is AJ's not beating him. That's the problem.
Why do you think that, man?
I don't know why you think that, man.
I don't know why you think he's not at least one-on-one coverage. This boy is elite, man. If he's getting the opportunity, he's not getting the opportunity. That's not his problem.
Have y'all watched Philly play this year?
A couple of games. I saw maybe 2 games.
There's been plays where AJ is taken completely off.
because
they're looking at these plays
because he's not dialed in. Now that's where I disagree with Clay.
But you're elite. If you're an elite receiver, you always should be dialed in.
Right, well, of course that. But I'm just saying that when you talk about if he got the best defensive back on the team covering them 20 yards downfield and the ball not coming, he jogs back to the huddle like, oh man, I did my job because this guy wasn't able to make a play. No one thinks like that, man. You can ask any receiver, current or in the past, ask Randy Moss, ask Jerry Rice, ask anybody, Tim Brown, ask anybody.
But you're talking about you're talking about receivers that can beat elite quarterbacks.
Why do you think he can't?
Because he hasn't. You know. I don't think you do it until you do it.
I don't know.
Hey, man, I think if he hasn't, or I think we wouldn't even be having this conversation if he wasn't in that category. I just think that they not, like to y'all point, I don't think that quarterback probably don't, like have the ability to throw it into tight spaces like that, and so that's why I was just saying maybe it's up to the offensive coordinator to try to. But let me say one more thing real quick, because I remember back in the day when the Pittsburgh Steelers had the steel curtain, they had Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, but it still was always about Franco Harrison. Terry Bradshaw was upset because he didn't get to throw the ball as much as he wanted to. You know what I mean? Then you had Lynn Swann, who, he was a dynamic player, but the guy Chuck Noll was like, we're not tossing it all over the yard, we're going to run it.
And I think that's the Eagles. I think that's the Eagles' play strategy.
Yeah. So you right, Jim. And I think that they don't have this wide receiver don't look at it like what Lynn Swann looked at it and like what John Stallworth looked at it. Like the running game and the offensive line is what butters our bread, So that's
one more. Then we get pivot. One more thing. When he's due a contract. When AJ Brown is doing this next contract, they're going to say, look at your numbers over the last 2-3 years. Why did you think you deserve X amount of money? Look at your numbers.
Well, I think his contract up and the team, if he's on the market, I think he's going to get paid extensively because of his resume and what he's been in the league. Period. It might not just be about right now or even last year, I think he was solid, but some of this too falls on Devontae Smith. Ain't that his name on the other side? Mm-hmm. If you think about what's going on in Cincinnati, Jamar Chase is that dude. He garners a lot of attention, but T. Higgins makes it hard for teams to totally focus on Jamar because he goes off, right? So Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, I mean, if he's taking up that much, Devontae is very much capable of lighting a team up.
Oh, he has been.
You got to make it hard for them to do what they're doing to them. You know what I'm saying? So some of that falls on that other side, and a lot of it do fall on Jalen Hurts, not really exploiting that. But, yeah, man,
Let me say this one thing before we pivot too. It's going to be real short and sweet. AJ Brown, if he gets traded, he's going to go for somebody's going to give a number 1 draft pick for him. They're going to give him a number. They're going to give up a number 1 for him. So as much as I may talk about him and his lack of performance this year, what he has done will demand a number 1 draft pick. If maybe a number 1 and a number 2, depending on who we're going to.
Yeah, so I wouldn't move off of him for less. I wouldn't move off of him unless I'm getting a haul.
Yeah, and hold up, I wouldn't move off of him unless I knew what was coming into the draft that I could possibly pick up for him.
Yeah,
right. He's an Eagle through 2029.
Oh, okay.
So he's an Eagle through 2029. Yeah.
That's a bold statement, Jeff. That's a bold statement. They might separate before that. They might separate before that. He under contract through 29. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. The way that AJ's talking, I can see at the end of the season they separating because whoever they send him to will have him to 29. Yeah. I can see that.
Here's the catch. He has $84 million in guaranteed money, the most ever for a wide receiver.
Woo! Oh. Can't cut ties with that easy. No, sir. salary cap hit. No, sir.
Yeah. So
No, but you said it's upfront money, right?
96 over 3 years, right? So he his current contract, which was a $96 million extension, signed in April 2024. In that 96 million includes 84 million in guaranteed money.
Yeah, so they probably, if it is guaranteed money, then it probably was already up front. So they might have already.
The signing bonus was 19.9.
Yeah, you got to look at what his contract is against the cap every year. That's what you really got to focus on.
But Philly's smart, so it might not be as much as we think it is, because they have a lot of star players at Philly. Yeah. So they might have did some financial work to make sure that it's a really smart contract for them and him.
Well, I'll say this: they lose to the Lions tonight, there's going to be some more drama.
Well, it depends on how many targets AJ gets.
Yes.
There might be drama if they win, and he only gets
if they don't get his target.
He get 2 catches for 7 yards and they win. Then there's a really drama come up.
They said, what will the headline be Monday after that game? I said the headline gonna be how many times Jalen tried to get him the ball.
or hold up, the bigger headline would be who did something with the prop bets. Because I wonder what the prop bets is going to be on AJ catching this week.
On his targets, yeah. Crazy.
How in the world do I get in those secret text chats?
Right, exactly. I would like to know that one.
You got to be a friend of LeBron James, Jack.
Oh Lord.
Oh, so we going to get deep.
Please, Mike. Please, y'all tell me what this is about. I haven't heard this, man.
So there's some allegations, right? That the FBI is want to investigate like phone calls. They want phone messages and stuff like that of guys who from the Lakers players. And a lot of the people that they bringing up is really close to LeBron, right? So, what's the guy named Randy Mims? Then you had what was the guy that was with him at the Heat? What was the guy name?
The coach?
No, the one that coached.
Damon Jones.
Yeah, Damon Jones.
Yeah.
Even Maverick Carter had a little incident with gambling. So they just saying that LeBron James is too close to this stuff for him not to be involved. Yeah. Which, in my opinion, I don't think I can't see somebody making the kind of money he make that would want to, get involved with gambling, and you only getting like $30,000-$40,000, and this dude almost a billionaire. I really can't see him being too connected to this, man. But this is really getting deep though. With this FBI investigation, these gambling allegations anyway.
So is it any evidence implicating these guys that's so close to him?
So the FBI in this whole Billups Rozier investigation, they somehow came across text messages from
Come on.
So this whole thing is and it's Maverick Carter and it's Jones and separate incidents, but LeBron's still kind of in the middle here, right? So, and it's this where there's smoke, there's fire kind of mentality. But what the facts are with Jones is that when he was assistant coach for the Lakers, he was texting inside information about, hey, LeBron's out tonight. And he was texting that to some text group that included professional gamblers. And so they had inside information that, hey, LeBron's not playing tonight. That's information's not out there, and it's right before game time. That's going to affect the line. Let's jump on the line and take advantage of that information.
That don't fall on LeBron. That doesn't fall.
They don't. But if you, I think again, it's that where there's smoke, there's fire, and that whole allegation with Carter, who admitted, hey, I was doing illegal betting, right? LeBron's
That's
man.
right. He did admit that, didn't he?
Yeah. That was back. That was a while back too. He said, "Yeah, I was with illegal bookies betting on NBA and NFL games." That's a bad look. It doesn't directly implicate LeBron, but now you got all these things happening around LeBron that don't look good.
Yeah. I mean, you know what though, by being like these guys who are close to LeBron, it's definitely going to drag him into it.
Yeah.
Whether he has, he legitimately has something to do with it or not. That's the way I see it. But like, if you, especially Maverick Carter and the guy Randy Mims, if y'all close to him, don't you want to keep like a certain, like you want to protect him some kind of way instead of getting involved and caught up in these kind of things, knowing that it's going to reflect on him, and you don't have no respect for the position that he put you in as far as like business and how he affected your life and stuff like that. Like, where is the where's the loyalty at? Like you getting caught up in scandals knowing that it's going to fall back on him.
Yeah, but you do that shit because you think you're not going to get caught.
Yes,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you do it thinking that you're not going to get caught when you do it.
Or you thinking I'm LeBron's guy, and this guy he'll be able to get me out of it. Anything that I get into, you know what I mean?
All you got to do is say he's the interpreter. That's all.
I'm gonna tell you this. With the way this gambling is and all this prop betting and stuff is going on, it's gonna be a whole lot more things and scandals and stuff coming out that we're not going to be aware of until it comes out. This thing is not the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these bets and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot more implications.
That UFC scandal that broke a couple weeks ago that I sent you guys that information on about that local kid that I know, man, that UFC jumped on that like nothing. They're like, we have got to cut this cancer out before it even can start to grow, right? And so that's what I think the UFC is being so proactive that they are watching the betting so closely that they see, hey, this looks irregular. We got to jump into this right now. And that's where the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball is harder to cheat at betting, in my opinion. But those guys have to be looking at the betting and the oddities and these weird stuff that happens, and that's where the NBA has fallen down. It's been a blind spot. They have not been able to insulate themselves the way that the UFC is trying to do.
I think it's still going to be hard though, as long as you have legalized betting and gambling, and then you got people with disposable income the way these professional athletes have. It's going to be hard. I see this being an issue forever.
But when you've got but back when that in hindsight, now that we've seen this, Malik, gosh darn, why can't I remember his name? The cat Malik. We talked about him like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I forgot. It ain't Beasley, is it? Beasley,
thank you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it's a game where they're down by 7, and with 5 seconds left, he's going in for an uncontested layup with no time left. Why? Because the line was 6.5. And they're down by 7, right? That should have, and if the NBA didn't kind of, hey, what's up with this, right? They should have been on that from the beginning. It looks bad, and the betting should have tipped him off that, hey, there's something going on here. There's ways to you're right, Mike. You can't always prevent it, but if the signs are there, you got to jump on it and cut that cancer out.
So let me ask you a question. What year was it when the Yankees got caught up in the scandal? Was it 1922 or something like that? 23?
Yeah,
when they had the big base?
That was the White Sox.
White Sox.
So it was the White Sox? Okay.
Yeah.
1919.
1919.
Right.
So you're talking about 105 years ago, we have a sports scandal in betting.
Yeah.
And we still ain't got it right yet.
Well,
So I don't think it's going to be a thing of getting it right or getting it wrong. I just think it's going to be a factor of we just got to figure out what's a good bet and what's not.
these leagues are not the leagues are not interested in getting it right or wrong, because these leagues are actually in bid with these companies.
Making too much money.
They've been in bid with gambling since the beginning of it. I remember back in the early 2000s, I would sit with my guy. He was a bookie, and he had a phone. And that red phone, anything got called in on that red phone, you bet it, no matter how ridiculous it sounded. It's certain things that the league knows about. It's not like they're separated. Yeah. It's not separated. But there's no way now all of a sudden you got all these FanDuel, all this stuff, prop bets, everything been going on forever. Yeah. It's just now the public can do it from their phone, and in every state you can bet, where you used to have to always do it through Vegas, whatever. But
it's legal now. That's how it was.
It's always been legal in Vegas.
But yeah, right. But that's the only place. Look, but just like the number. Right. So was back in the day. Now the government, they want
it's opened up. Right. Yeah. But it's still
as soon as the public loses faith in the ability to, hey, this is a fair bet, then if the public starts losing faith, then they're not going to bet on that.
But the public don't lose faith. Like, the public still take their chances. The public is addicted. The public is addicted to betting. So it doesn't matter how many scandals have came out. You had the Black Sox scandal we was talking about earlier. Yeah. You had point shaving. You had all these things. Even the public question, like Man brought up something. Jim, you brought up something about it's so many seconds left. He get a contested layup. Well, people question forever college football. They up by so many, and the line is this, and then they go in for a late score, or they don't get a score. All this stuff. The public has been questioning this shit forever, but the public does not back off of it. The public is still engaged.
They're addicted. It's the addiction.
They are addicted.
Yep. I'm not thinking of this as an addict. So I guess you're right.
My
whole thing is the different kinds of betting. Now, when you're going point spreads and all that stuff, I can understand it. My concern is with the prop betting. But that's where these players really get the ability to change the outcome of it. If I'm going to play tonight, if this person's going to score 4 points in the first quarter, stuff like that. The prop bets is what I think the public really needs to watch, because that's where these individuals, and really not even superstars, but you got it, because you can prop bet on pretty much anything. These the not the superstar players, but the average NBA, NFL player that has a prop bet on him. He can go to his phone and say, oh, somebody prop betting that I'm only going to score 5 points in the first quarter. Okay, let me get somebody to bet on that, and I go score 6. Yeah. So me and the person wins. That's the part that I think that they really need to look at and start deciding if these bets are legitimate bets that need to be for the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Prop bets have been around forever too. It's just the general public wasn't aware of it, because a lot of the general public wasn't exposed to gambling like they are now. Like, you could always do prop betting, and these players could always get someone they know to bet on a prop bet in Vegas and throw their game. They've been doing it forever.
Right. Forever. But now because of the way everything is now, you can physically get information without calling the bookie. You can physically get information without going to Vegas and stuff. So
Well,
it makes what I'm saying is the
you can do it
access.
on your phone.
The access to the prop bets are really easy now.
Yeah.
So if I'm an average player and I know I'm only going to get in the game for 2 minutes, and I'm making minimum salary, and I can make another $5,000 to $7,000 on a prop bet for me, I might be concerned. I mean, I might say, maybe I need to make this $7,000 and do this prop bet. Hey, dude, such and such, Mike, make this prop bet for me real quick. Call it a day.
Let me
they've been doing it. I'm just saying that right now it's really coming out now that it has been happening.
Oh, I
so it's the public.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that's been happening for a long time.
Right.
But the slippery slope is you call up your dude, and then he starts leaking it to other guys, and then all of a sudden, the number of people that know the outcome of that prop bet as a guaranteed prop bet explodes, and then the numbers really start to change.
Yeah.
That's where this whole deal with Isaac Delgarian and the UFC. Dana White saw because he's employed this data company that can analyze the numbers, and when those odds change dramatically out of the blue for no reason, they can flag it. And he knew before the fight. He went to Delgarian and said, "Hey, are you okay? Do you owe anybody money?" Right? Because the odds changed dramatically out of nowhere on the favorite to lose in the first round.
So what happened? Going to admit to that though? That's the thing. He went and asked them, well, who's going to admit to it? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the hole to this. You know what I mean? X, Y.
I don't think he asked him. I don't think he asked him that question to admit to it. I think he asked him that question to find out his reaction to it. Because you ask him that question, he says no, but the thing does happen. Then you got to be like, well, I asked you and you said no, but now to come to find out, you know about it.
Well, and he was fired within 12 hours.
Yeah, wow.
They let him go out of the UFC like within 12 hours after that.
Let me say this first. Retro, I appreciate the super chat, right? But I think I agree with all of y'all when y'all say that gambling has been around forever and it's not going anywhere, right? But in my I still don't think that they're gonna stop like going after like the little man when it comes to these prop bets and stuff like that, because basically prop bets, in my opinion, it's just like insider trading, right? When you have the lady, what's her name, Nancy Pelosi, right? She was under investigation. She had something like over the course of her career, she made I don't know, like millions and millions of dollars, right, from stock information that she obtained from what they said was illegal. So that's the same thing. But then you got somebody like Chauncey who probably only made like a couple $100,000, over the course of a few years. And it's not going to go nowhere. And when they talk about protecting the integrity of the league, I think they don't want everybody. They don't want a free for all when it comes to this. They just want the people at the top to be able to do what they want to do as far as the integrity is concerned. But when players try to infringe on that, that's where they're going to clamp down.
Now, did y'all hear that Kevin Garnett admitted that he was at one of them poker games that Chauncey Billups supposed to invited him to and stuff like that? And he was one of them high rollers that Chauncey got to come in, knowing that he was going to lose. They didn't say how much he wound up losing, but they say he was one of the ones. He admitted that he was one of them high stake. He played poker in one of them high stake games. This Kevin Garnett. He admitted that openly, right?
Yeah.
My question is, that's not illegal. Going to play poker for, you know what I'm saying, $100,000 a hand or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know a lot about that gambling stuff.
Right.
But that's not illegal. Now,
it's not unsanctioned in certain states. I thought it was illegal.
No, you can go play poker anyway.
But I mean, for money?
No. You gotta have a, first of all, to do legal poker, you gotta have the licensing to do it.
Yeah, the game.
Down to do a in-home poker game. Let's say all five of us decide to play a game of poker for some money. You can do that in your crib. You can do whatever you want to in your crib. I think the whole factor was that it was a setup. It's like playing 3-card Monte.
Yeah.
Okay. You know you're going to lose, but you think you're going to win. But everybody knows the 3-card Monte is a setup. You don't win.
But the thing about it was, I don't think Garnett went knowing that he was going to lose. Chauncey
No, he went right. That's what I'm saying. Chauncey Billups. That's what I'm saying. Chauncey Billups knew it was a 3-card Monte game, and he got his 5 roller friends to come in, thinking they have a legitimate chance to play poker and win. That's the illegal part of it. When you try to circumvent the rules of the game to make it fit your thing.
My thing is, I think a lot of athletes, big name athletes, they're going to come clean to some of the things they were doing. And even if not all, they're going to come clean to some of the things. I was involved in this. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I played a poker game here. Yeah, I did this. Almost to say, okay, he admitted to doing X, Y, Z, so we can turn the light off for him. And maybe it was more extensive than what he's owning up to. That's the only thing.
Yeah. But see, it's like you playing a dice game in the city. If you're playing a dice game in the city, somebody got loaded dice. Guess who the first one gonna get shot? The dude that bought the dice in the loaded dice game. So that's just I don't want to. If I'm betting and I'm going to your establishment to win some money and it's all set up and rigged, the person that rigged is playing with his life. And I think that's what.
Hey, Mike, read that quote. Mike, read that quote down there, Mike.
Which one? Three college kids made $100,000 betting if Angel Reese would miss her first layup or not.
Would make.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Would make her first layup or not.
Man, stop right there, Mike. Now, what if Angel Reese knew about that bet and say, "All right, I'm gonna go in on this bet."
Mm-hmm.
Either way, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go in on this bet about making or missing a layup, and where I can potentially make $100,000.
That's still a hard bet for her if she's
right. I agree. It's still a hard bet for her.
I'm saying, look how you can just participate in that so easily. That's the only point I'm making. That's the only point.
Right. Exactly. She could have seen the line running, and that's what Jim was talking about. Once you see the line building up, that should automatically tell you that something is in the works. Because let me ask you a question. Would you, as a common person, bet on that prop bet?
Wouldn't even think of it. No.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So if let's say it's betting 10-1, and then all of a sudden a week later it goes 40-1. You know what I'm saying? Then you're looking at it like, well, why is this increasing so much? Why are so many people betting on Angel Reese making her first layup? Just like Jim said, the same way Dana Reese was like, yo, this line is moving too fast, too soon. Why is everybody betting on this prop bet? It should give red flags to the leagues that something's going on. And for them to bring that up, that 2 kids won that bet at $100,000, that should bring a red flag. Why are you betting so much money on this type of prop?
Yeah.
If only 2 people won it, that's not a big deal. And if they move the line, let's say the line moving, and they constantly move the line trying to get the money to move, the only way they do that is, and if it don't move, is they involved in it as well. Like, you understand? Like, people don't understand the gambling houses are involved in it as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Does the line move on the amount of people that's making the bet or the money that's on the bet? When does the line move?
On how much money?
So the line moves with the money and not the people.
No, not necessarily. The line can move if some news come out, striking injury. But for the most part, the line opens, right?
Right.
And then when the line opens, they'll move the line, right? But it depends on the percentages of the bet. So if you open the line up and let's say 90% is on the favorite, and then all of a sudden they start moving it, that's because for whatever reason in that game, they're trying to balance it. They want 50-50 on both sides so the loser pay the winner. If they don't get that 50-50, then I guarantee you that the majority that's betting with that 90% favorite is going to lose your money. These,
So let me ask you.
these gambling houses are in on this shit.
So let me ask you a question. So
down, Frank.
yeah. So let's say 100 people bet $1 on a prop bet, and the same prop bet. Let's say one person bets $100.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same, or one person bets $200. Will the line move if 100 people bet $1, or would the line move if one person bets $200?
No, that ain't enough. That's not enough to make a ripple in anything.
Well,
like,
no. I'm just giving. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as an example. I'm using an example.
So you saying if 100 people bet what?
If 100 people bet $1,
yeah,
would the line move, or would the line move if one person bets $200?
The line's going to move to kind of equalize the money on both sides.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
And what's going to happen is the house builds in that factor, right? Minus 100 or plus 100 or whatever it is, to where they're going to make their money no matter what.
Yes.
Right. And so they have to keep the money kind of equal on both sides, and they move that line. And when it starts, right, there's a whole algorithm involved in this, and it's actually pretty complicated, right? Because where the line starts, when you put your money in, you're locked in at that bet, right? So if I bet 2 weeks out and I'm minus 200 on the favorite, but by the time the actual event happens, maybe the underdog flips, right? So now I put in for minus 200. But my guy now is the underdog. I'm still locked in at that minus 200. But the line may have shifted based on where the money has been betting over the last two weeks.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I just think that, in my opinion, and y'all let me know before we pivot and go somewhere else, I just don't think that. I think it's going to be an ongoing problem as long as you have opportunities for people to make money. You know, at the college level and at the professional level, especially college too, because some of these kids may not even have an opportunity to play professionally, but might be playing beside a kid that is going to the pros and has some type of information that they can make some money off of. So I don't think it's going to go nowhere. I think people are always going to take chances.
Well, you know what? I've been looking at my phone. You know the new prop bet? Is if all 5 of us are going to be on the show next week. This is the first time all 5 of us been on the show at the same time in a while. That prop bet is the under. I'm telling y'all, prop bet's under right now. All 5 of us.
And listen, fam, all these people that's getting exposed or whatever, they're just being offered up. So the general public don't believe that these leagues are in on it. They're just being offered up. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not really a problem. It's not really a problem.
I'm telling you this: if they dig deep enough.
Huh?
Are you saying it's a conspiracy then, Clayton?
Define conspiracy.
Like when they conspire to offer up these players, that's what I mean. When they conspire to offer up these players to present, they want to present, like you said. All good business conspires. They develop an agenda, a plan, and they orchestrate to get an outcome. So absolutely, it's a conspiracy. But yes, it's just to keep. Yeah. Speaking of things being orchestrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
This Project B League, in my opinion, I think it's orchestrated. And I'm gonna give you 2 points of why I think it's orchestrated. Number one, with the Project B League, if this B League is designed, in my opinion, to create division between the older WNBA players and the newer, the younger players, right? That's going to affect them in a situation where they might have a lockout or a strike. You put the vision there, and that's why I think that league is fake. And then on top of that, the jobs that they offer, they only are offering half of the jobs that the WNBA is offering, and Project B comes along at a very opportunistic time when it's just too much of a coincidence to me. So what do y'all think about that?
When is the league set to start? Isn't it not until the end of next year, like 26 or something?
What, the Project B?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think like around sometime in 2026
Are
after
you
the
saying
NBA season start.
you think it's to create division between?
Right, yeah, because you have players like Neka Ngumagay, right?
Yeah.
She is supposedly a part of or thinking about or she's doing business with these people at the Project B League, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an opportunity for her to make generational type wealth. This is a business opportunity for her. It's not something that's going to benefit the WNBA. It's something that's going to benefit her personally. So now, if you're in the WNBA and you see her making these kind of deals, that's going to create a division, some type of divide, because she's not really considering you. She's dealing with a competing league.
Yeah, but they're not competing with the W, right? Just during the off season, right?
You said Project B is not competing with the W?
Yeah, ain't it during the off season of the W?
But you still have, even if it is during the off season, you still have the players from that league playing in both leagues, and they are compete. What you was going to say, man?
I'm going to say it's what the W needs. The W needs something in America that will make them step their game up, plain and simple. And the women know that, the younger players know that, and the older players, like you said, if you divide between younger and older, the older players are mad. They already divided now anyway, because the older players are not getting the money that the younger players are getting.
Yeah.
Right, it's already happening. If this wakes the WNBA up and tells them like we got to run our league like a professional league, then definitely they need to do it. Because when it comes down to it, we all have to admit, as much as we like watching the WNBA, it's an inferior product that they're putting out right now, not because of the players, but because of the league and the marketing strategies of the league. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody can come and do it better, why not?
Yeah.
But competition makes everybody better. Somebody with competition, somebody wins and somebody loses in competition.
And this is a pattern that the Saudis have been following for several years. Right? You had the Live tour in golf, right? And you see what they've done, like within the last several months. They had that big comedy festival, and they hired all the top comedians to come out, right, and paid them godly amounts of money to where they couldn't say no, right? They're doing these things to build up a sports entertainment channel because they've got all this money that they can throw at it. They got more money than God, and they can do all these things to create all of these entertainment and sports channels and outlets to make them look good, right? I don't think Project B is the plan B you think it is, Mike. I think it's just the Saudis continuing to do their thing, throw money at it, and to make them look good. I mean, that's and Mike, you're right. I mean, Jim, you're right, because look what that did for. Now the PGA is recognizing Live now. Yeah.
And actually they have a tournament with each other.
Yeah.
They now they actually they have recognized the PGA, because before the PGA never recognized Live. They always had that thing against them, and if you're playing with them, you can't play with us, and all this other stuff. Now, in the last 2 years, they have an end of the year tournament where their best players play their best players.
Yeah.
So it could be what women basketball needs.
Yeah, but all right, but you already have European leagues, you have Australian leagues. Then you have all these other leagues. Why didn't one of those leagues say, all right, well, we see opportunity now?
They don't have Saudi money, bro.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
They don't have Saudi money, bro.
Yeah, it's a totally different beast. It's a total different beast. When you got somebody backing you, like he said, that has more money than God. That's a total different situation. Where you can transport, you can take 12 athletes, 24 athletes, and fly them anywhere around the world and still make money. That's been the whole thing about international sports. It's the travel for international sports. Okay, that's why the NFL doesn't have a league in Europe no more. It's the travel factor.
Right.
Okay, that's what kills any country versus country versus country. Because that's why the Olympics is only held every 4 years, because of travel issues.
Hey,
but if you got more money than God, you don't give a shit where you sending them at. You don't care.
I'm a co-sign what Tom's saying, right? So, Mike, you said that this league is coming about and it's going to compete with the W. If Caitlin Clark is not a part of that league, I don't give a fuck who they got. It won't compete with the W because this girl is the draw. Her viewership, everything. So if she's not part of it, it don't stand a chance against the W because the W got her.
So, but let me ask you a question. That may be true, but let's say this league goes and gets Juju and starts that league with Juju, and then a lot of other players start to come over because of the money factor. Now, Caitlin Clark can stay in the WNBA as all she wants to. Caitlin Clark is one person.
But you
got the competition and the level of play is better. You don't think that will oversight Caitlin Clark and what she can do?
No, because the competition and everything in the W always been great. Ain't got nothing to do with how great the competition is. It's got everything to do with you got a lightning rod that's coming in and bringing all this excitement, regardless of how great the games are. It doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm asking. If this W league, if this new league can pay these players more money, so if that happens, we already know that the majority of the athletes in the W will leave because the W is all about money.
They won't necessarily leave. They'll play in that league during the off season, but they still are contracted. If the CBA resumes and the league resumes, they are still under contract with the W. So they have an obligation to fill their contracts here as well. So they might go play in that league, but you're still going to come back to the W when the season starts.
But hold up. We all know how contracts work, and we know all how money works. So just because you got a contract in the W, that don't mean you can't go play in this other league.
No, they can. I'm not saying they can't.
And not come back and fulfill your contract.
What I'm saying is I don't think the players totally leave the W. So it's like back in the day, Diana Taurasi was getting paid all this money to play overseas, but she kept coming back to the W.
But what I'm saying, if you got this Saudi money, and the Saudi be like, look, I'm going to pay you $1 million a year just to pay for me. And the W is only going to pay you, the W is only going to pay you $100,000. I'm not taking that. I don't care what's going on with that W contract.
With Diana Taurasi in Russia. Diana Taurasi was playing for rich oligarchs in Russia.
Yes.
So
we're talking Saudi money.
No,
we're talking about the same type of money that went into pro golf. That had overseas guys already playing pro golf, but they were all still under one umbrella, the PGA. And money talks.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
So let's use golf, man. Live got a lot of these PGA guys over there, right? But those PGA guys still compete in the PGA stuff too, don't they?
No, now they do. But at first they did not. They do now because the PGA Tour now recognizes Live. And they have an end of the season tournament now. But before, when Live first started, Live players did not participate in the PGA.
I don't know, man. I mean, you would know better, but all I'm saying is, if it's all about the money and everything, whether the PGA acknowledges them or not, if I'm getting paid so much money from the Saudis, then I wouldn't even care about competing in the PGA anymore. That's what you're trying to say about the women.
That's what I'm saying. They did when they signed that first Live contract, they could not compete in the PGA. The PGA did not allow them to. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't. What I'm saying to you is this: the WNBA right now is fighting over money. Can we all agree on that?
Right. Well, everyone except Caitlin. She's said she can do anything, and she's not worried about money. She's got everything lined up, so she's not going to be motivated by money to go play in that league, and that is where they're going to run into their problem.
Their problem.
Right. Hey, I agree with that. She's like the Michael Jordan of that league. But you got to also remember, when Michael Jordan was playing, there was also a Kobe. There was also a Magic. There was also a Bird. There was also a Kareem. There was also a lot Allen Iverson. There was a lot of other players that entertained us as well. And that's the whole package I'm trying to bring to you guys. That right now, the WNBA is trying to go on strike because of a lack of money. When somebody decides to throw them the money that they deserve, I can see a lot of these players, average players, star players, maybe not Caitlin Clark, but going where the money's at.
But remember what Mike let it off with. They only got 6 teams or something, right?
Right, 66 jobs, yeah.
Yeah, it ain't even that many players.
I mean,
where the rest of these players gonna play at?
Everybody got to grow. If you take the best 66 players,
I understand that. I'm just saying the ability to compete with the W. I just don't think it's going to be about competing with the W. I think they're creating something for themselves. But if it's during the off season of the W, it's no different than before. They will go overseas, get more money. And as long as Caitlin is still in the W is going to excel as far as ratings, money generated, and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and I think when it comes to, I think the WNBA, that's like their golden goose right there, right? Like with Caitlin Clark. Because number one, she want to stay home and she want to play. Then you could tell by like she don't have to react to anything. You know, all she has to do is just wait for all the smoke and the dust to clear and just go ahead and make sure she's ready for the season.
Yep,
that's it.
So let me see what my man Kent says. He said I have to disagree with E-Man. Caitlin Clark has proven it already, and just did it again with the LGPA. No crossover. Let me see. Goes that what came mutually.
Hey, I just looked it up. So the B League will start the fall of 2026, and it goes from November to April.
No,
that's it.
The WNBA starts in January.
No,
so it does.
W starts in April.
The WNBA starts. Their first game starts in May. Training camp starts in April.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
The draft. All right. So the draft is in April.
Starts in January.
May 2nd. I'm sorry, May 16th.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think like that league would have had a chance if they was like the USFL and could have drawn away like the top people like the USFL did when they were starting up. Even then, I don't think they would have been able. You know, they still would have been able to.
Let me ask you a question, Mike.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So I understand that part of the league, they have like people like Steve Young and Candace Parker and other people investing in that league as well as some of their hold positions. But how many players to date have actually signed with that league? I only heard 2 so far.
Let me find out.
I haven't heard nobody.
Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah. The girl Nneka.
Yeah, Nneka Ngumagay, right.
And Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah.
That's all I heard.
Yeah. And
you know,
and see, that's
is Asia Wilson. Is Asia Wilson gonna sign with that league?
She
I doubt it.
No. Asia Wilson ain't even playing in Unrivaled.
Right.
So, but I just think that that's why I just think that league.
2 players, guys. 2 players right now have signed.
That's it. 2 players so far. Hey.
All that old money and they only could get 2 players. They're only throw
Alyssa Thomas and you just said what's her name? Akamuma, whatever.
Nneka Ngumagay or whatever.
Yeah, they're the only 2 players that signed so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just don't think that the league is going to come to fruition. I just think it's a.
Oh, hold up! I'm reading this article. Their strategy, is to go after the college players instead of going after the NBA players. Their strategy is to go after the top college players. So that's why they haven't signed so many NBA players, because they're trying to recruit the top college players.
Well, let me ask you this then. If they take that strategy, is that going to work? Because I don't know.
That strategy, that's if they're doing that strategy is the long game.
Yeah.
That's the long game strategy.
Yeah. I mean,
get younger players and let the league develop under the younger players. That's a long-term strategy.
Whatever strategy they are gonna have, they got the pockets to be able to make it.
Yeah. But they can't get the golden goose.
No, they can't. Nope.
I don't care what their strategy is. You can go Juju, Hannah Hudago, you can go Flage, you can go all these girls coming out. They great. But none of them make you watch like Shorty, like Kate.
I mean,
no, even Juju don't.
Great point. You got a great point.
I mean, love these girls.
She's definitely the Michael Jordan of the league. She's definitely the Michael Jordan of the league.
I love these girls, though.
Yeah. What was and Retro says Unrivaled has signed 6 college players, so that's good for them. I just think Unrivaled, I think they're gonna fade out pretty soon too. I think Unrivaled have like a 3-year contract, a television deal, 3-year TV deal. I think once that's out, I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to renew. You know, I'm
gonna tell you that to compete against the W, you're gonna have deep pockets.
Yeah.
That's it. To compete against it, you're gonna have deep pockets.
Well, Saudi has that. They definitely has that. But like here again, I just don't think the money, no matter how much you got, you know, like you said, when Mike played, there was a Kobe, there was all that. But when Mike retired, and all them guys in the league, that goddamn viewership dipped tremendously. So you understand what I'm saying? So it's great and all to have these other stars, and it's good. But I'm just saying, man, I don't care how much money you got. You need that person. You need that draw. And right now, unfortunately, with women's basketball, it's just one person that really moves it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing, because just like you said, the league, Mike moved the needle. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I'm just saying it's unfortunate for women's basketball in terms of the growth if this girl's not around. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Oh, yeah. But the good thing for women's basketball is she's pro women basketball. She's pro growing what is. She's pro let's grow the W. So she's in lockstep with women in women's basketball. That's a fortunate thing. But yeah, them Saudis, I will be shocked if they're able to get this girl to play.
Yeah. I would be shocked too.
I mean, that would shock everybody. But you know, sometimes, you know, you put the right amount of money on the table. You know, sometimes you just can't avoid the situation, especially if you're a professional athlete. You know, sometimes some things is money talks. Sometimes, you know, but there's few and far between of athletes that won't allow that contract to speak for them.
Yeah,
she's just built differently, though. What motivates her seems to really be straightforward and simple, and she's got everything she needs money wise.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm hoping so, because like you said, if the WNBA loses her, they can fold that league up. Yeah. They lose her, they can fold it up, because there will be no competition no more.
Yeah.
Because if they lose her, I can guarantee you 75 to 80% of top stars, future stars, and wannabe stars will go there just because that league is growing and paying money.
Yeah, the eyeballs too. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting though. And I'm listening to you, Mike. You say you don't think it's never gonna come into fruition. That's interesting. I want to see.
The Project B.
Yeah, Project B. They only got 2 players so far. I'm interested in seeing.
They still got another year though. They still got another year to get.
You're right. They got a whole year. You're right.
Yeah, they got another year to get it together.
And, right. And like man said, they using the same strategy that the USFL. USFL didn't go after. They went after college players too. You know.
Yeah.
You can't really. I don't know if you can go after people that are already under contract for a whole nother league. I don't know.
And with the Saudis, it might not be about crushing the market and making a huge. They got so much money. You know what I mean? It just might be, funding a league and generating some kind of revenue. It might not be going all in. You never know.
Listen, I could tell you this much, and this is what I like about this situation right now that's going on. It's making sports worldwide as competition. So when we say the Super Bowl, the best in the world in football, maybe it will legitimately be the best in the world. But with the Saudi League coming up, we have an opportunity now to legitimately say these ladies are the world champions because they were best in their league, and then they played the best in another league across the world or wherever they're going to be, and they won. Yeah. So hopefully the level of competition will come and make it a worldwide level of competition that we haven't seen. The only time we see it is in the Olympics.
Or soccer, you got soccer, you got
NBA's leaning into it, right? The new All-Star game is going to be US versus the world or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But see, and you're right, soccer does it in the World Cup. So, that's the level of competition that I believe football may not never get there because football is a central sport. They're trying to get it, but basketball can definitely go to that World Cup level. No doubt.
The MLB does the what's that the classic or whatever, right? So they do their version of that, and the NHL went to they went instead of the All-Star game, they did the four country challenge or whatever the heck they call it. I think a lot of the sports teams are wanting their sport to be international, and you're right, man. NFL has the biggest hill to climb there.
Let me I want to say my man Kent says bring up speaking on a 3 from the ESPN that thought they single-handedly why the WNBA has advanced while throwing shade at Caitlin Clark. So who is that? Stephen A? I know Stephen A said that. I disagree one time when Stephen A said that he gave the W a lot of credit, and
I think jump in here, Kent. You're talking about the 3 ladies that do the that do the show, and I already forgot the WNBA show.
That's
Nguma K,
the NECA sister. What's her name?
Nguma K and
Adrian Carter is her name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's who I thought Kent was talking about.
Okay, those.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened?
Well, they're always reluctantly giving Caitlin her flowers.
Yeah.
And they're always talking about how
It sounds like a lot of hate to me.
Expand on that. I want to know what happened.
It sounds like it's a lot of hating because some people still don't believe that Caitlin Clark changed the WNBA. Some people still refuse to believe that stat. You know what I'm saying? She's been in the league for 2 years now, and they still refuse to give her flowers. Like the league was still going to be the same if she came in or if she didn't come in. That's garbage.
I want to address this one too. What's this? Den Spanish says, Urban, you are tap dancing, right? Urban, you tap dancing. So look, man, I just think.
What do you mean? What do they mean tap dancing about what?
I don't know.
I thought we were blatantly honest about everything. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind you being honest as long as you are respectful about it, right? Like, if you disagree with my opinion, then that's cool,
Really?
And we'll debate. Just be respectful about it. I don't have, as long as you respect.
While we figuring out what he talking about, I got a question for you guys, and we can spend like maybe 2-3 minutes on this.
All right,
but
go ahead.
Do you believe that great players make good coaches?
No, most of the time I don't. And I don't watch Magic, Bird. Who else coach?
Larry.
Yeah, I don't, because they just have a higher standard that most people can't elevate. I don't think that Tom Brady would make a good coach.
I think decent professional players that weren't at elite players make good coaches.
Yeah. What about Mark Jackson? Did Mark Jackson? I thought Mark Jackson was a pretty good coach.
Yeah. He's a pretty good guy. See, and the reason I refer to that because somebody brought up Jason Kidd's name, and I'm like, well, Jason Kidd. If I had to pick top 5 point guards, Jason Kidd wouldn't be in my top 5 point guard.
Right.
So wouldn't really consider him a great player. He was a good player, but he wouldn't have been in my top 5 point guards.
Yeah.
But Mark Jackson is another example. I didn't even think of Mark Jackson. Would I put him as a great player?
He's a hell of a coach.
He's a Hall of Famer. Is Mark Jackson a Hall of Famer yet?
I don't think so.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was going back like,
no, you think he should be in the Hall of Fame, Mark Jackson?
Man,
no. I think the Hall of Fame standards has gone down in all professional sports.
I don't think he was criteria, in my opinion, as a Hall of Fame.
He was an all-star a lot, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was.
Now, see, and to go on the other side of the coin, the only person I could think of that was a great player and a good coach was Mike Ditka. He was an excellent tight end. Yeah. And I thought he was a pretty great coach, but I may be wrong, y'all opinion, but that's the only person I just thought of on the other end.
Mike Vrabel was a really good player.
Good player.
I didn't even think of him. Yeah,
he was an excellent role player, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
And listen, real quick. Speaking about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, we always talk about this with the Brady and Belichick and shit. But the one guy that's not getting his due, Josh McDaniel. Because if you remember, Josh left, wasn't a good head coach, came back, right?
Yep.
Now, if you look at Drake May, Josh is there now. Josh McDaniel needs to get a lot of credit for the Patriots' success when Tom Brady was there. And now look at what he's doing with Drake May.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's one example of I'm not a good head coach, but I will coach the shit out your offense and the quarterback.
Yes.
That is a great example of that.
Yes.
Spagnuolo, another great example.
Now in the beginning, Tom, they carried but as he grew and learned, he started doing it on his own. But you got to give Josh McDaniels a lot of credit for the development of Tom Brady because you looking at it again with Drake May.
Yeah.
Time said, let Uncle Clayton speak.
Nah, but that's the truth, man.
Yeah. I agree. Man, you know what? I want to. All right. So Tom says if Chris Mullins is a Hall of Famer and was on the Dream Team, Mark Jackson should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. He definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame before Eli Manning. I don't think. I just think. I don't think Mark Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame. I like Chris Mullins. I don't think.
We'll break that down. What's the difference, Chris Mullins and Mark?
I don't know, man.
That's interesting. Chris Mullins could shoot and everything. He's good, but that's interesting. I don't know.
They both New York boys too, right? Chris Mullins, New York boy. Mark Jackson, a New York boy. Who you think had the better career than? Was it Chris Mullins or Mark Jackson?
Well, Chris Mullins' career started at Golden State, didn't
it? Yeah. He came out of St. John's.
St. John.
Yeah, came out of St. John's.
First of all, let me address Tom real quick. Tom, first of all, Eli Manning deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Won 2 Super Bowls. So let's stop that right now, okay? Let's stop that down. Eli deserves to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, in the Hall of Fame. Let's stop. Now let's talk about Mellon and Jackson.
I don't know about that.
Manning.
I'm going with Eli.
I don't know about that.
He stopped the Patriots from going and having an undefeated season. I'm going with Eli.
I give Spagnuolo a lot of credit.
He won both his Super Bowls against the.
But I mean, we keep speaking about it like Eli beat the Patriots, and Eli, I don't dislike him. He was a good player, but that Hall of Fame, just because they won 2 Super Bowls, that to me, you know, you look at his regular season, you look at who he was as a quarterback overall. I don't know. Did he ever win MVP of the league? Did he ever do anything like that?
No, he just won 2 Super Bowls.
But the team did. But the team did. That first Super Bowl.
Every team wins. Every team wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but when you look at some of these guys that's on Super Bowl teams, quarterbacks, Hall of Famers, they MVPs. They break records. They got all this other stuff to go along with it, and you know, and you can see that they're great players individually.
I'm gonna tell you this: the way the Hall of Fame is, Joe Flacco is going into the Hall of Fame.
He's not.
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
He's not going to get in.
Joe Flacco is going in the Hall of Fame.
He's not going to get in.
Not getting in there.
Eli did win the Super Bowl MVP twice.
That's a quarterback award, Jim. Your team win. That's a quarterback award. That to me, that's not.
I mean, that's No, I'm just trying to get the facts in. You asked if you ever won an MVP.
Didn't Desmond Howard, didn't somebody on the kickoff return or something one time win Super Bowl MVP?
We could look that up.
Yeah. Shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you have a great game that game, you can get a Super Bowl MVP. You know, I don't know, but look, Eli's a good football player. He was solid and everything. I just don't.
Desmond Howard, Super Bowl.
Desmond Howard, right?
Super Bowl 31.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, Super Bowl XXXI.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Just in my opinion, to me, Eli's career, if he didn't have the 2 Super Bowls, he like a Flacco to me.
Yeah, I see that.
You know, but you know, it's all good, though. It's all good.
That's why we talk about this.
But yeah, man, the game's going, man. I want to get your girl on too, man. TCU, Olivia Miles.
Yeah. Oh, she been
on
showing off.
Huh?
She been showing off. Olivia Miles been showing off.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I haven't seen any games.
I caught some like the highlights of a couple of the games. Yeah, she been showing off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I appreciate y'all. What games is on now? Well, it don't even matter. We break it up.
It don't matter.
Yeah, break it out here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Kent Retro. Let me see. I think the other guy rolled. Rick. I think Rick rolled out already. Time. Appreciate you. We did have a guy here trolling. Might have to start getting some.
No, man, that was funny though, man. I thought that was funny.
I don't want this cat pissing off our regulars. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah. Hey, look, one thing I believe the chat can handle the chat. They
handled them. I ain't go. Yeah, they handled them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely handled them. So that's why I let it. You know what I mean? I just let it go for a little while because they was getting at them. Man, I appreciate everybody, man. That tuned in and participated, and So
the Ravens don't play till 4, right? Yeah. I told Retro earlier. She came on my post earlier. I said it's the Browns versus the new iteration of Browns.
Is Deshaun Jackson supposed to be coming back soon?
Who?
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Not Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Watson.
Watson. Yeah, my fault. Sorry about that.
You know, he could be. He's still under contract. They ain't did nothing with him. They haven't moved him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Retro said today, maybe. So,
wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's still listed out. Watson's still listed out.
Oh,
okay. Kent, man, you enjoy the rest of your day too. Retro, everybody, y'all enjoy y'all day. Make sure to like and subscribe. So we'll be back at this next Sunday at 11 a.m.
When I seen the topics, man, I had to come in and learn. I didn't know all that was going on in the world, man. As far as the LeBron and all, I didn't even know, man.
It was
crazy.
a lot. It's a lot, man. A lot. Time, appreciate you, Time. Yeah. So, all right, fellas, man. I appreciate y'all. And
My power just went up.
you oh yeah. All right. I appreciate you, Jim and then Clayton. And I'll see y'all next weekend.
Yep.
All right.